Every empire thinks it's smarter, more advanced, more complex than the ones before it. And every empire eventually learns the same lesson the hard way. History doesn't care about pride, power, or promises. It only cares about incentives and math. If you strip away politics, emotions, and narratives, the rise and fall of empires follows a disturbingly consistent pattern, roughly 200 to 300 years. Not because of fate or superstition, but because that's how long it takes for a system built on productivity to slowly transform into a system built on extraction. Founders create, builders expand, managers optimize. Then eventually, elites extract. At the late stage, real economic growth slows down. Manufacturing and production are no longer the priority. Financial engineering replaces value creation. Debt begins to grow faster than productivity. Governments don't borrow because they want to. They borrow because they have no other option left. Taxes can't be raised without backlash. Spending can't be cut without instability. So debt becomes the bridge. And when debt becomes too heavy to carry, money creation steps in to delay the consequences. This is not new. Rome debased its silver coins. Chinese dynasties overissued paper money. European empires inflated away obligations. Modern systems expand balance sheets and manipulate interest rates. The tools change, but the logic stays exactly the same. When promises exceed productivity, the currency absorbs the damage. At this stage, people start noticing something strange. Official economic numbers say things are fine, yet daily life feels harder. Groceries rise faster than wages. Assets inflate while living standards stagnate. Trust quietly erodes. Not overnight, slowly, invisibly, until one day confidence is gone. This is also the phase where inequality stops being cyclical and becomes structural. Wealth concentrates, power follows wealth. Policy begins serving capital preservation instead of system stability. This is what historians call elite capture, and it is the real point of no return. Once elites control regulation, credit, lobbying, and political access, reform becomes mathematically correct but politically impossible. Ask yourself honestly, will people at the top vote for policies that hurt their profits? No. Will they willingly accept wealth compression or monetary leveling? Never in history has that happened. Will they close tax loopholes they personally benefit from? Of course not. This isn't conspiracy, it's incentive alignment. Systems don't collapse because elites are evil. They collapse because elites act rationally in their own interest. The tragic irony is that the safest solution for the empire is the most dangerous solution for the ruling class. The real fix requires debt restructuring, asset repricing, reduced financialization, and a shift back toward real productivity. But those steps destroy elite wealth first. So instead of turning the wheel, the system accelerates forward, even when everyone knows the road ends at a cliff. History shows that at this point, the system no longer tries to save itself. It tries to extend itself. Short-term stability becomes more important than long-term survival. Asset bubbles are protected. Interest rates are pressured. Spending continues, even when it's inefficient, fraudulent, or wasteful, because stopping would expose the rot underneath. Trust doesn't disappear all at once. It leaks. This is why gold always returns to the center of the story. Not because gold is magical, but because it is memory. Gold has survived every empire, every currency reset, every political collapse. When trust in institutions weakens, people don't run to innovation, they run to history. Gold isn't an investment in growth, it's insurance against failure. That's why it rises during late-stage cycles, every single time. Some people ask whether an empire can learn from history and break the cycle. The honest answer, backed by thousands of years of evidence, is almost never. Not because it's impossible, but because it requires those in power to sacrifice first. And history has no record of an empire voluntarily impoverishing its elites to save the system. Even Britain, often cited as a softer landing, didn't escape this logic. It managed decline instead of denial, trading global dominance for internal stability through higher taxes and welfare systems. But elite behavior didn't vanish. It adapted. Offshore finance, asset concentration, property capture. History doesn't erase elites, it rearranges them. Eventually, every late-stage empire reaches the same moment. The cost of maintaining the illusion becomes greater than the cost of change. Control slips, a shock arrives, financial, political, social, or external, and the reset happens, not neatly, not fairly, but decisively. This is not fear-mongering. This is historical literacy. History doesn't repeat word for word, but it rhymes with terrifying consistency. And if this moment feels surreal, unstable, and obviously unsustainable, that's because every generation living through the end of a cycle says the same thing. What a time to be alive.